Welcome back to our all-in training sessions. As a reminder, we want to move our faith into action and to truly love and serve our community. Our goal for all of this, for you, for your small group, for your family, is to define its mission and to create a plan to live out how to love and serve McLean County, or really whatever county you live in. We want to do this in practical and tangible ways. And so more on that next week. But for this week, in this training session, we want to shift our perspective because we need to really truly identify our resources. And here's what's true. God gives us good things. In fact, many people would say that everything we have is a gift from God. But here's the thing, we don't always see everything as a gift from God. Sometimes, maybe all too often, we see resources as things that we've earned or that we deserve, or even that might be owed to us, maybe for some hard work or for hardships that have happened in our life. But the problem is when we view it this way, we tend to pigeonhole God and His generosity. We might feel good about what we have. We certainly don't want to lose the things that we've worked hard for, but this mindset begins to elevate the gift above the giver. When we do that, we're really misusing the resources that God has entrusted to us. And in our own ways, we're chasing after the good life rather than the great life that Jesus calls us to. And so there's a tension. Because if we're going to go all in with Jesus, you and I, we really need to develop some new habits that's going to compel us towards a life of generosity with all of our resources. And so I can really think of two questions to tackle today for this time. Here's the first question. How can we identify our resources? And so as you think about that question, here's 5 things that might help you identify them. The first one, and it might be cheesy, but I really want to just say pray and ask the Holy Spirit to reveal to you areas of apathy and comfortability. And the second way to understand your resources is to ask this question: what do you have enough of? Be honest about that. Third thing, how can you specifically bless someone right around you in your surroundings? What could you do today that would be a blessing to somebody else? Now, these next 2 questions I think are super interesting. What are you willing to give up? As in resources that you're like, yes, I would give this up right now for somebody or something. But then if you flip that on its head, it might get to the core of this. What are you not willing to give up? Those are some important questions to help identify your resources. The next step then is, how can I be all in with my resources? Because remember, for this entire series, we want to shift our mindset. We want to move us into action and change some behaviors so that our faith is displayed in new ways. And so here are 3 quick tips on how you can create a lifestyle of generosity along the way. Here's the first one. Be Spirit-led. Specifically listen to how the Holy Spirit wants you to be generous. The second tip is be a blessing. So specifically bless people this week, weekly. We would love for it to be one of your 3 people along the way. And then the third tip is be hospitable. Specifically, this means to invite people into your environment, into your community. So invite people over for dinner and encourage them to become a part of things. Those are 3 quick ways that you can begin to shift your behaviors into a mindset of generosity. Now, I personally have seen this play itself out in some amazing ways in my own life, and there's always a risk of sharing a personal story, but I just want to do it in this way. Some years ago, our family found out about another family that was in need of a vehicle. They're a bigger family. I think they had 8 kids in their family, and their main vehicle, which was a van, broke down. And as a big family myself, I know what it means to have a valuable vehicle that is reliable along the way. And so we related to them in that way. But when we found out about this family's needs, my wife was so quick to suggest that we just give them our van. And I paused because I was beginning to think through logically, like, well, how can a family of 8 and all the things that we're doing only have one vehicle? And my wife just kind of calmed my anxiety down a little bit. She encouraged me to say, trust and lean in to Jesus. She literally pulled the Jesus card on me. So I couldn't do anything else. We did it. And we sold the van for $1 and trusted that God was going to do something great in the midst of this. And I'll be honest with you, there's a sacrifice that came with that. Going with one vehicle for about 4 months was a stretch for us, but I and can tell you honestly that stepping up and giving that resource to meet a specific need was so invaluable because it provided so many teaching moments for our family. It literally met a need for a family in our community, and it honestly opened up my perspective on generosity, and I haven't seen it the same since then. So I say all of this because our next step this week into going all in is to identify a resource. This could be money, could be a possession, maybe it's a position that you hold. I'm going to trust that the Holy Spirit's going to work on you on that, but we're asking everybody to identify a resource that you're willing to sell, that you're willing to give up, and specifically use to better serve your 3 people or your 3 places. To say it succinctly, literally go, sell, give, and then share. Go identify what it is that you're going to give up as a resource. You can sell it if you need to, but we want you to follow through on that. And then we want you to give it. Give it to the Holy Spirit prompts you to give it to, and then share that story with your group. There's a blessing and a praise towards God that happens when we do that. We think that the impact of this simple faith action will have a far-reaching implication for our community, and we cannot wait to hear what happens as you identify your resources and keep moving all in. Thanks for joining us during this training session.